Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you for the online satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. So we'll be continuing the study guide on Maha Shivaratri. So, we originally planned to have a speaker session today, but at the request of the officers and some devotees, they said because of the upcoming Maha Shivaratri celebrations, so we would rather study and finish the study guide, which talks about the significance of Maha Shivaratri. So, first, any holy day will become really significant when we know the inner significance of that celebration. Otherwise, it becomes ritual. So Swami says ritual should become spiritual, and that becomes spiritual when we know the significance. So we are going to start the Shivaratri study guide. I think all of you have received that on your email. You could print it or you can watch it online. So we are going to start on page 7. So what we covered last week was, number 1, what is Shivaratri? Shiva means auspiciousness. Shiva means auspicious. Just those 2 letters are very powerful. Swami says that is the purifies your heart, just a repetition of those 2 letters. So this Shiva, this Shivaratri is night. So auspicious night. That's all Shivaratri means. Good night, so auspicious night. And this comes every month on the dark half of the month. We call it Krishna Paksha. Every month it comes. So because moon waxes and wanes, so that is the 14th day of the waning moon night. So because the mind is controlled by the moon, that is why the Purusha Sukta, the great Vedic scripture says, Chandrama Manasojjata. The presiding deity for mind is moon. That is why we talk about lunatic. We even talking about how people, because of the waves in the ocean, it happens, and these are all influenced by the moon. So this Maha Shivaratri, Maha means great. Maha means also symbolizes Brahman. So this is the day which comes only once a year. The auspiciousness, Shivaratri, Masa Shivaratri comes every month. This Maha, the great Shivaratri, comes only once a year in the month of Magha. The same in the Krishna Paksha, 14th day. It is very special, and this is the time where they say much easier to control our mind, because the mind is responsible for bondage. Mind is responsible for liberation. we turn the mind towards God, it gives us joy and bliss. If we turn towards mind, towards the world and sense objects, it gives us grief and bondage. So this day, it is scriptures say, and Swami emphasized a lot, it is much easier to control the mind, because a mind, as is described as a not only a jumping mind, it is a monkey mind. Not only monkey mind, it is a mad monkey. So it's all over. So to control the mind, first you watch the mind, then you still the mind. Finally, as the disappears, so completely mind should call manolaya or amanaska. So that is the way it easier to do. So then what is the thing? Another thing, scriptures, their symbolic significance. This is the day the lingam came out of the universe, the Lord. And the lingam, there's no shape. It is a symbolism of the formless God. Because as you see, always lingam, it doesn't have a God with statues where they have head, hands, and legs and arms. You don't have. Just God. Yes, this is a symbolic representation in the form of the formless reality, like the Om is the sound symbol. So this is the significance. This is the day the Shiva brings out lingam, and we saw seen many times. Sai Shiva brought out the lingam on the Maha Shivaratri day, not one, many lingams, many times. And this is the day where Lord Shiva did the cosmic dance. That is why we sing Nataraja, Nataraja. Nataraja means the king of dancers. He is not only good dancer, he is the king. Raja is king, Nata is dance. He is a king. Whenever we sing this during Shivaratri, which we are going to celebrate this coming few days, remember when we sing Nataraja, you should see him doing the cosmic dance with the whole universe, every particle, even atomic particle, they say at the level there is a dancing particle, subatomic particle. So that is another significance of Shivaratri, cosmic dance. And this is the day also they say the Lord Shiva's married Mother Parvati. That is, Parvati represents nature, Prakriti, and Lord Shiva represents Brahman. So always the whole universe is combination of Prakriti and Purusha. That is the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect. The whole universe is, that is how the creation comes. Ultimately, there is only one thing, as he said, Swami, Shivoham. There is only Shiva exists. And another thing is, this is the day, the good forces and bad forces, demons and gods, they churn the ocean of the milk to get the amruta, nectar. During that process, first thing always came is poison, huge poison, hala hala, that can destroy all the worlds. But Lord Shiva is embodiment of compassion and sacrifice. Instead of saving the world, he drank that poison, hala hala. That is another thing. When we sing Nilakanta Sada Shiva, Nilakanta means you should right away say, oh my God, there is his blue-throated Shiva. It means you should right away remind us, oh, Lord Shiva sacrificed for the sake of people drinking that poison. But this is allegorical, the symbolic. For every one of us, there is churning between good forces and bad forces. Every one of us has sometimes beautiful, loving qualities, love, compassion, kindness, charity. All these are noble qualities we have. At the same time, sometimes we get these bad qualities, anger, jealousy, and greed. So there's always this churning between the two forces. So whichever wins. So same thing they were doing. Then first things, whenever even we do meditation, sadhana, they say first negativity comes. So that is why people, even when they used to go to Swami, oh my God, my mind is all, because Swami is bringing out all the negative tendencies and cleaning us out. So same thing happened. And then you pray to Lord Shiva, he will take us our negative tendencies. Swami used to say, hey, come and pray to me, I will take your negative tendencies. That is another significance of this Shivaratri. And also, whenever we sing something, we say also Nandishwara, Nandi. Nandi is the vehicle for Lord Shiva. He's the greatest devotee we talked about. Nandi main qualities is one-pointed, always looking at only Lord Shiva, not this way. That means we need to have that one-pointed devotion towards God. That's one. Second is Nandi is the vehicle for Lord Shiva. So Shiva doesn't need anything. That means taking the weight of Lord Shiva. That means similarly participate in the work of Lord Shiva. That means taking the part in the divine mission. Swami started the world serving, so we participate in the divine mission. That is another thing. One pointed love. Another thing is doing the responsible work for the Lord. And then Nandi is the bull. It has 4 legs. That 4 legs represent these 4 things: Sathya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. The 4 fundamental values. So that is truth, right conduct, peace, and love. So that is what another thing. So whenever you think about Nandishvara, you should think about that qualities. And also we sing Trinetra. He has got 3 eyes. That means he has control over the past, present, and future. And also he has control over our gross body, subtle body, and causal bodies. Thola, Suchmas, Karana, Sharira. So when you think about Trinetra, you should think about it. So everything has a symbolic significance. And also we tell him, we say he's the Vyagram Baradharya. So just he wears the tiger skin, he wears sometimes elephant skin. That means they are animals, right? So that means control of the animal traits. Lord Shiva, you praise, all our animal traits will be controlled. That is what the garment he wears is, that is what. So everything has a symbolic significance. That is where we discussed last time. So now we'll start on page 7.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Sairam, brothers and sisters, we're starting on page 7. Significance of Lingam. Have the deliberation first. Step by step, you reach the end of the road. One act followed by another leads to a good habit. By listening, you get prodded into action. Resolve to act, to mix only in good company, to read only elevating books, to form the habit of remembering the Lord's name, Namasmarana. And then ignorance will vanish automatically. The divine bliss that will well up within you by the contemplation of the personified bliss, Ananda Swarupa, will drive out all grief, all worry. Shiva laughed when he took a good look at the chariot that was provided for him when he started out to slay the Tripura, i.e., the demons of the 3 bodies, the gross, the subtle, and the causal, Stula, Sukshma, and Karana. Vishnu, the charioteer, was in yogic sleep. The unmoving earth was the chariot, and the 2 wheels were the sun and the moon, 2 spheres which never revolved in unison. That laughter laid the demons low. There was no more need to proceed against the demons. How did the evil forces that dwell in the 3 bodies die? They could not exist where there was divine bliss, for they are products of grief. Develop Ananda, then evil impulses and tendencies will vanish, for they will not get any foothold in the heart. Move forward towards the light, and the shadow falls behind. Move away from it, and you have to follow your own shadow. Go every moment one step nearer to the Lord, and then the shadow of illusion, Maya, will fall back and will not delude you anymore. Be steady, be resolved. Do not commit a fault or take a false step and then repent. Have firm deliberation first. That is better than regret after the mistake has been made. Arjuna had this wise deliberation. He saw the consequences even before the battle began and wanted Krishna to advise him what to do. But Dharmaraja, the eldest brother, had sorrow after the war was over, repentance after the loss incurred. Reason out and discriminate. Above all, you must take every step in spiritual practice or in worldly life only after careful deliberation to choose what will be for your good. Who invited you all here? There was not even a little notice in print, but yet you have come here in thousands. You attach yourselves to me. I am unattached. I am attached only to the task for which I have come. But one thing be assured, whether you come to me or not, you are all mine. This is Sai Mata, Mother Sai. Mother Sai has the love of 1,000 mothers towards her children. That is why I do so much lalana, fondling, and palana, protecting. Whenever I appear to be angry, remember it is only love in another form, for I have not even an atom of anger in me. I just evince my disappointment that you do not shape as I direct. When I direct you along a line of action, reflect on my advice. You have full liberty to do so. In fact, I shall be happy if you do so. I do not like slavish obedience. If you feel that it will help you to reach the goal, follow it. If not, go to some other place. But let me tell you one thing. Wherever you go, you meet only me. I am everywhere. Have you heard the story of the rabbit that had borrowed from Mother Earth 4 paisa? It thought that it moved into a new region. If it moved into a new region, it would be free from the obligation. So one day it ran as fast as its legs could carry it to go very far away from the place where the amount was originally received. At last it sat down in great relief and said to itself, "Now no one will ask me to repay." What was its surprise when, from the ground underneath it, heard a voice, "Mother Earth is right under your feet here. You cannot escape from me, however far you run. So too, you cannot run away from me. I will demand good conduct, good habits, good thoughts, good company, wherever you go seeking for refuge. And what reason have you to leave? Only those who ignored the joy, the consolation, the courage, the love, and the blessing they have received here will do so. Only those who believe the ear and not the eye will do so. In a short time, you will be witnessing the emergence of the lingam that is formed within me. The auspicious time for the emergence of the lingam, Lingodbhava, is approaching. You see it and you receive the blessings. But yet there will be some among you who will doubt it and deny it. That is the karma of such. What else can they do? Parenthesis. Here, Baba stopped the discourse. The movement started first in the region of the abdomen, then the chest and the throat. Baba swayed from the side, leaned on the table, drank water, and finally, after about 20 minutes, an egg-shaped lingam emerged from his mouth. Holding it between the thumb and forefinger of his right hand, Baba discoursed further about it. This is the Brahmanda Lingam, the symbol of the universe. Inside it, the stars and the planets revolve. The entire universe is represented herein. And over the egg-shaped lingam there is an eye imprinted, the eye of the one eternal witness. You are indeed blessed. The merit of many births has brought you here to see this great phenomenon, this rare creation. Remember that years of worship or ritualistic vows and fasts may not give this unique chance which you now have had. Use this good luck to hear only good advice, to select good company, and to strive more earnestly to reach God. February 11th, 1964, Brahmandalingam. I will go to page 9. Lingam is the symbol of the beginningless and endless. The lingam is just a symbol, a sign of the beginningless, the endless, the limitless, for it has no limbs, no face, no feet, no front or back, no beginning or end. Its shape is like the picture one imagines the formless, Nirakara, to be. As a matter of fact, lingam means that in which all forms and names merge, Liyate, and that towards which all names and forms proceed, Gamyate. It is the fittest symbol of the all-pervasive, the all-knowing, the all-powerful. Everything is subsumed in it. Everything starts from it and ends in it. From lingam arises jangam, the universe. From jangam arises sangam, brotherhood, spiritual fraternity. And as a result of sangam, one realizes the lingam, attributeless atma. Thus, the circle is completed, from the beginningless to the beginningless. This is the lesson that emergence of the lingam, lingodbhavam, teaches. The physical body that is inhabited by Atma is but a vesture worn for this particular sojourn. Many a vesture has this soul worn, though its reality is eternal. February 1971, Shivaratri, significance. Page 10, last page of this chapter. Significance of the emergence of lingam, the lingodbhava. Understanding the true meaning and inner significance of Shivaratri. The golden Hiranyagarbha lingam is present in everybody's spiritual heart, Hridaya, and is on the right side of the body. The principle of Hiranyagarbha permeates my whole body. It assumes a form when I will it. Whoever has seen this lingam at the time of its emergence will not have rebirth. One should see its form as it emerges. In order to sanctify your lives, such sacred manifestations have to be shown to you every now and then. Only then can you understand the divinity in humanity. This lingam will not break even if it is dropped from a height with force. This is the symbol of immortality, Amritottam. It is changeless. You cannot see such a manifestation anywhere else in the world. It is possible only with divinity. This is the manifestation of changeless divinity. For the past 20 years, devotees did not get the opportunity to witness Lingodbhava. The reason was that thousands of devotees used to gather in Purnachandra Hall to witness this grand spectacle. Since the Purnachandra Hall cannot accommodate large gatherings, there used to be stampedes. As a result, devotees were put to a lot of inconvenience. In order to avoid this, Lingodbhava was discontinued. Not only this, three types of lingams emerge. They are Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. Bhur means to materialization, body. Bhuva to vibration, prana. And Swaha to radiation, Atma. I often say you are not one, but three. The one you think you are, physical body. The one others think you are, mental body. And the one you really are, Atma. On every Shivaratri, all the three lingams used to emerge. Even now, the other lingams had started to emerge, but I prevented them because there are many things to be told to you. In the future, you will be a witness to many more manifestations of divinity. Understand that this bliss can be experienced only in the proximity of the divine and nowhere else. February 15th, 1999. Manifesting divinity in Lingodbhava. Should stop here.
Yeah. Because this particular theme is this chapter.
Yeah. So, what a great good fortune of those who saw Lingodbhava here. Swami gives the most clearest explanation of the significance of the lingam and how it emerges, and there should be no doubt about the divinity. And the main reason Swami is showing this is for us to go into the path of spiritualism and reach Him. so that we merge with him. That is the main thing. So this is pretty self-explanatory. I'll turn it over to Dr. Reddy for explanation.
Anyway, we already talked about, Swami said, liyate iti lingam. So anything, everything merges in the lingam. So let us have very clear, because so much in Shivaratri time we talk about lingodbhavakara, lingeshwara, atmalingam, bhajavre. So many times we talk about the lingam. So what is it is number one, it is the formless aspect of the nirguna nirakara Brahman. Like the Om is the sound symbol, this is the symbolic aspect in the form, lingam. And liyate iti lingam, that means everything, all the names and forms we see in the universe, everything we see, it all merges in lingam. Because it came from lingam, it goes back to lingam. As Swami said, everything from lingam comes first jangam. That means the universe. This jangam means this whole universe. From jangam comes sangam. That means the society we live in, all the people in the country, society, nations, and then families. So lingam, should remember this jangam, then sangam. So this lingam, in the whole, this is the origin of the creation of the whole universe. That is why Swami says Brahmanda Lingam. That is why there is a bhajan also. Brahmanda Nayaka Baba. Brahmanda means whole universe is in the same of this Anda. This is Lingam. That is why this Vedic seers, they have sun, even this earth, they call Bhugolam. Earth is like in a golam. Before the scientists, they were fighting. Is it earth is flat, round? They said in Vedas long, thousands of years ago, this is Golam. So Lingam, Bhugol, that is a Brahmanam. But this Lingam Swami is telling 1964, right? That is the time he brought out the Brahmanda Lingam, and then used to bring it till 79. Then he stopped it because, as Swami said, it's because of the stampede. And then he said, the people who have seen, it gives you more, they said they will be liberated. And then again, 1999. So I was fortunate that time. Suddenly I had an urge to go to Prashanti Nilayam. I went alone without, usually we all go as a family. That strong feeling as if that is nothing but Swami calling you. We went there in 1999. I was happy and fortunate to see that emergence of the Hiranyagarbha Lingam on that 1999, because that is the great fortune. So this Lingam, there he saw Brahmanda Lingam, and then he called Hiranyagarbha. When the universe came, it formed of a golden egg, they say, like that even Brahma is a form of Hiranyagarbha. This Lingam would be many things. So first, that's why we need to understand this Lingam. So it could be in the form of just earth, a clay, that is called Prithvi Lingam. So in Kanchipuram, they have Prithvi Lingam. Just earth, the five elements itself could be Lingam. One is Prithvi Lingam. Earth itself is Lingam in Kanchipuram. Or you could be fire. Fire is considered like a Lingam. That is in Arunachalam. In thing they have Agni Lingam. And then there is a place called Kalahasti. There is Vayu Lingam. This air itself is like considered like a Lingam. So it is not like a physical lingam, this earth, then you have got fire, and then I said you have air. And then you have got Akasha Lingam, Chidambaram. Chidambaram, Nataraja. There people say, what is there? Oh, come on, see the lingam. People say, did you see the lingam? They say, yes, but there is no, if they will show the screen, pull it out, there is nothing there, space. Just the space itself is considered lingam. So that is Akasha Lingam, that is the power. That means the whole universe, the space itself is lingam. That is in Chidambaram. There is another place near Srirangam that is called Jalalingam. So all the five elements, the some sort of lingam. They are not in the form lingam, but they are considered Panchabhuta Lingas. Then we talked about lingams. It could be in the form of a clay, you saw from the form of stone, and they have Spatika Lingam in the form of crystal, or in the silver, it could be gold, and all these are various types of lingas. All those have power. But the greatest lingam ultimately is Atma Lingam. So that is why, so just going, the lingam is there in ourselves. But these lingas help us so that we finally realize Atmalingam. That is why the bhajan, Atmalingam bhajore. So Swami emphasizes, to reach that, how do you do that? That's why Swami has told few things. Number one, we should have good company. He says, tell me your company. They influence your thought process. If you have people in company of good people, you will have divine thoughts. Swami emphasized this very much. He says, we have dust. What happens to the dust in the company of air? It goes up. The same dust in the company of water you put, it goes down. It doesn't have a legs to go down. It doesn't have wings to fly. The company. Similarly, if you have company of holy people, so your journey towards God is much easier. That's why very much emphasized satsang. That is why Adi Shankara, great Advaitic master, in Bhajagovinda, he says, Satsangatve Nisangatvam. Just you have holy company, you will have not interest in the worldly matters. Nisanga, we always, what can we do? How can we sing glories of God? Like Chiranjeev is busy with doing Shivaratri things or arranging this. How can we do seva? So you're always more interested in good things and not into sense pleasures. Oh, I want to have this fun, that fun. So you will have the Nisangatam. Nisangatve Nirmohatam. Once you have no attachment, you will be happy. You won't have the delusion that control. Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam. Once we have no delusion, you will be always calm, steady. Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. Mukti, that liberation is nothing but having that state of steadiness all the time in all the pairs of opposites. So good company leads to detachment. Detachments get rid of our delusion. And once our delusion is gone, so then you will have steady mind. And that is that equanimity. That is nothing but being liberated while alive. That is the importance of good company. Always we should see. Sometimes say, oh, I am busy at work, going there, I don't have good company. Read good books or watch good movies, a good thing about holy people. Swami Avatar is there. Listen to this, his words. That is a good company. If you don't get people, still nowadays is so much available. You can listen discourses of God, or you watch, they read some holy books, scriptures. So that is a good company. And second thing Swami he started for spiritual journey is discrimination. He gave the example of Arjuna and Dharmaraja. You know that war, Mahabharata, between the evil and good. Before the war, Arjuna was wondering, he wanted to fight, but when you see the people, my God, these are all my cousins, my grandparents, my uncles, my teachers. How can I kill all of them? So he was shaken up and he wanted to run away from the war and go and meditate in the forest. Then the Lord Krishna said that is not good. But Dharmaraja proceeded and the war, they won the war. Then after the war, Dharmaraja repented, my God, we should not have done this war. We should not have killed these people. And then he did a yajna, a ritual to repent or to compensate for the sins that were done by killing so many people. Swami is telling, don't be like Dharmaraja. So after the whole thing is done, you go on repenting. What is the use? Be like Arjuna. Before you jump into that, what is the consequences? Before we do any action, we should think, is it right or wrong? What will happen? Is it for the good of all? That is called fundamental discrimination. That is what Arjuna had. That is called foresight. You think ahead of thing and think what to do. That is what. Whereas Dharmaraja had hindsight after thinking, oh my God, I should not have done. That is completely wrong. That is another important. One is good company, Swami emphasized. Second is to have the fundamental discrimination. And third thing interesting, Swami says, I don't have an anger. So always, sometimes people, when we work closely with him, he's like Lord Shiva. He can really burn you with this thing. Sometimes in the early days, he used to beat up people too. But then said, because the people said when he was young, because somebody said that is a transition from Shidi Avatar. In Shidi Avatar, if you read Shidi Satcharita, watch the movie, he used to throw bricks at people, beat up with stake, and Satan used to do really, people used to get scared and run away. Then he says, oh, I don't get angry after beating all that. What do you mean? I love you like mother. Because it is true. What he is doing is driving out our bad karma, negative things, because out of his love. Sometimes when you go through that pain, you don't understand. Actually, there is one guy called Sathya Patel. He is close. He takes his turban, puts in fire. So he used to do that, and he used to scold people and all that. Here also, Swami also, I have seen the scolding a lot of us. But it's not really anger. Whenever we are angry with somebody, what happens? You're all agitated. You can't be, your face will show and all that. That minute Swami will be scolding somebody, some of us in the veranda, within 1-2 minutes, you will go and talk to a child, little boy, smiling and squeezing the cheek, singing. That means if you're really angry, you can't do that. So that is just all act, as I said, for our good. So to get rid of that thing. And another thing here is he's assuring that wherever we go, he is with us. That he says, me intane, ventane, jantane, katane. I am inside you, above you, below you, behind you. That means wherever you go, he says, I am watching you. That's why the Vishnu Sahasranamam and the Gita says, so his eye is sarvatah pani padam, sarvato achi shiromukam. My eyes, my hands, my feet, my ears are everywhere. So I used to read this, but it didn't make sense. How can the God's ears everywhere, eyes everywhere, feet everywhere? But Swami showed there is a scriptural truth which has really, he verified for the devotees of his. So I can tell you this, I shared before. Like Swami used two examples I can tell you about ears everywhere. So actually she came and talked here, Neelam Desai, Dr. Neelam Desai, she was a heart surgeon. So whenever she does the surgery in the theater, before that she used to hum a bhajan and do that. And Swami asked her one time, why don't you sing a bhajan? She said, no, Swami, I don't sing bhajans because her voice is not good. I don't know sing. No, you sing bhajans. I know, I hear in the theater. That means your ears are there. So singing, so everything. And one time it happened to me. I used to go, not anymore. Those days, 30 years ago, we used to go family Huntington nursing home for service. Then we used to sing bhajans, and I took some photos and showed Swami. I'll show you are singing and just trying to show. So everything he knows, what we do, we think he doesn't hear. He hears everything, he knows everything. So, and second thing is, doesn't see. One time, boys, Swami took a picture. That guy went, they don't smoke, Swami doesn't like people to smoke or drink. So when he went in vacation to his home in summer, so he was smoking because his friends forced him, let us, hey, what happened? Just let us smoke. Who will see? Your parents are not here, nobody watching. So he was smoking. And then when came back, Swami said, hey, smoking. No, Swami, no, Swami. The Swami material is the Polaroid photographs. That means he is there, see you are smoking. So his eyes are everywhere. And also his mouth is everywhere. So his Kasturi, Professor Kasturi's daughter was relating. So sometimes they give this coffee, then they offer Swami Prasad, we offer. So usually people like that, they do it like this so that it is nice. But they have to go to work quickly. They put it hot coffee there and just go to the thing. Hey, you give me hot coffee, my throat, for you have nicely do that. For me, you put a very hard. So it means don't mechanically do the prasadam. Everything is, you should have that feeling. He's watching us, he's hearing us, and he is listening with that bhava. We should do that because it is not just talking about thing. And even somebody said about the feet. So when sometime they put the padukas in their puja room was very small. They put the thing and they worship. And when they came, hey, how do you think I can stand? You said, put me in such a small place, and you'd go on doing that. So I can't even stand there. So you don't have. That means even that he is seeing, his feet are everywhere, his eyes are everywhere, your ears are everywhere. That is the thing. We should have that bhava, conviction, and do that. So let me see. Anything else we have to hear? Yeah. So as I said, when you have that feeling, that understanding that about whenever we do the Shivaratri, what the significance is, each word, like whether you say Nilakanta, Atmalinga, everything is, then it sings. That is called, that is why in the beginning itself Swami said Bharata. Who is Bharata? Bharati. That is why he says, don't think Bharata is only India. Anybody, anywhere can be Bharata. Bha means Bhagavan. Rata means Rati, the one who develops love. Anybody who has Rati for Bha, Bhagavan is the one with light. Bha means light or Aishwaryam. So the real Bhagavan's definition is the one who has Aishwaryam, that means prosperity, who has got Jnanam, wisdom, who has Vairagyam, renunciation. So all those qualities, so all these qualities who has, that is Bhagavan. Anybody who has love for that, that becomes a Bharata. Another way Swami said Bharata is, whenever you sing bhajans, we are going to sing bhajans. So you need to have these three things. Bhavam, that is feeling, not mechanically like a tape record. Bhavam, ragam, that means you need to have melody. Thalam, that means the rhythm. So always when you sing, am I singing in good melody or the good rhythm and good bhavam? That is why here also it is interesting thing. Once Professor Kasturi was thinking, he used to live in Bangalore and used to go on the weekends. He was working to Puttaparthi. Then he went and Swami said, hey, your bhajans are causing me a lot of ear pain. He said, Swami, I don't sing because Swami, he says, my voice is not good. He's good in giving talks, very humorous, beautiful. He is how he relates the stories of Swami. I don't sing, Swami. You told me to don't sing but dance, because he moves his hands a lot whenever he used to give talks. So I don't sing. No. That boy, next door neighbor who comes to your bhajan session, he sings with such a screechy voice. My ears bother me. That means he is, that's why watch, don't think he's just listening only when in the Prashantil. Wherever we sing, we should be aware of that. So that is why I said when singers, don't make it a democracy about that guy, so everybody should sing. You can sing in your own puja, even that don't call pain to God. So particularly in a group, if you don't have good thing, we don't need to really strain and make it happen. So that is why you should have conviction that he is there everywhere with us all the time and guarding us, guiding us, protecting us. That is the assurance he has given us. So we should be always happy. As he says, the solution for evil is, what did he say? Being in bliss. Just he says, just Lord Shiva, just those Tripurari. He says Tripuras, those Rakshasas, three Puras. Hope all of you know. These Rakshasas, three of those, they wanted it such a way that they were not killed. But they are in three separate, Pura means towns, three places. And these three places, as Swami says, they represent three bodies. Actually, one is iron, made up of iron, another is made up of silver, another is gold. This represents our tamasic quality, and silver represents the rajasic quality, gold represents sattvic. So God, Tripurari, he will destroy all the three so that we go beyond the three gunas. That is another thing we should say. Whenever you say Tripurari, he Nataraja, Tripurari, he Mahadeva. So there's Tripurari means these three puras, which is this Tat, Sattva, Tamas, and Rajas, he will get it off so that we are ultimately with Ananda. That is why we talked about the koshas also, how you transcend. So this is very important. The more we know the inner significance, we enjoy the things good. Okay, we'll continue next week and hopefully we'll finish the study guide then. Sai Ram.